classes that we teach, jiu-jitsu, or that like we have an MMA program with grappling and striking both. And even my kids have been training like 3 or 4 years. Like one of them, his name's Clarence, I call him Clary, like Lawrence and Larry. Anyway. But he will do this to everybody and they can't get out, right? It's just like, it's almost like it's inherent to us to grab someone's head out, okay? Also this, everybody knows the guillotine choke. Everybody, right? I once, Robert Drysdale, we're in the same area talking, and he was talking about how he got stuck cornering a guy in an MMA fight that was just a striker. And he found out, he's like, you asked me before, you didn't say you had no jiu-jitsu, right? He's like, what's your jiu-jitsu plan? If this goes to the ground, he's like, oh, I don't even train jiu-jitsu. And he's like, wow. So he shows him the guillotine in the back. They go out, touch gloves, a little bit of striking, the guy tries to come in for a double, guillotine, choke him out. I've had a guy, I swear he skipped every grappling practice, but he could knock someone out with both hands in the, one of his last fights. He hit the guy real hard, the guy shot in, guillotine, choked him unconscious. And this guy had the most rudimentary grappling skills of any fighter I've ever known. He just he had knockout power in both hands, that was his plan. Once he got taken down, right? So, this guillotine, people have an inherent idea of that too, right? It's just like, well, it's a statement. So, let's talk about preventing the guillotine, and then like, all right, they got us in a headlock, how we get out of this? I think about guillotine as front headlock. Just like all that other stuff, standing on the ground, side. Okay, rear naked choke, rear headlock, right? It's kind of a way to look at it. So, let's go over this. Now, I will show an entry here for a guillotine, right? A little later, we'll come back and we'll do an entry. But me shoving the head under the arm. Go ahead and do that. Good. Again. The counter to getting pulled down is to go forward. It's the simplest thing that we're going to do, right? Like if I want to pull you down to the floor, you come in, and you won't be pulled down. There's some later phase of this. There's 3 different ways I'm going to show how to do this, okay? But just let me touch your head one time, and then you can apply this. That's simple. So there, right? I'm about to do that again. You just come forward and grab it. That's super easy, right? It works this way too. Like this, let me kind of pull you in. You know me, my judo, that's what you're about to go for, right? Now, if you pull hard on my look like that, right? It's that simple. I do it just with the jacket pull, right? So if somebody pulls you down at all, go in. That's the first part of this. Make sense? Let's do it once. This is precautionary. Like everything I learned, I want to assume that I did perfect that day. It's martial arts utopia, and I stopped you, and you did not do the initial technique, right? But then too, everybody I ever heard that got in a street fight, everybody. This one thing that I did not plan to have, except it's usually like 3 or 4 days, right? And it's like, and these people are black belts and training every day, right? And unfortunately had to use their martial arts in a real scenario that they tried to avoid, right? So, that's I say like we're training for the day we hope never comes. We go do tournaments and stuff, but like if I'm walking down the street right here, I don't want you to mess with me. I'm gonna walk around the block so we can avoid it. But if it comes down to it, that's why I train, right? Self-defense. So, timing. It's the earliest phase timing we could possibly do. Okay, we maintained our basic posture. We didn't lose it. What if we start losing it? Right? So now there's going to be phases of time, right? So timing of a technique could be early, middle, late phase would be a way to think about it. Okay, so think about it. I was preventative, I'm early. Middle is you started pulling my head down. This started happening. And then late, you already had my head pulled down. Pretty simple way to think, okay? So just one time, tuck me under the bed. Okay, do that again. Look, see this in the mirror here? The shoulder lock. Okay? Now, I'm a good base here, and I'm just gonna step around and turn the wonderful. So, you do it to me. So, look, if I go here, right, that's it. Look, now step and turn the yes, good. Exactly. So, look, this is what's happening. I don't have posture. Everybody can see that. But watch what happens if I step. Now I do. Lift the ID, pull my head down. I step, that's what coming up. Now, kind of like the other one, you guys started realizing like, oh, that headlock defense, it's gonna make me let go. It's gonna make you let go if you do it correctly. This is the same thing. You're gonna kind of get this where like, okay, I know the shoulder about to happen, I'm gonna let go. So you learn from the defense perspective too, like, okay, if I hold on to this, it's bad. When I'm rolling, my students do this to me. And I have to kind of, oh, man, they do that thing. And they let go. So it's like, I learned it from both sides just by looking at the offense. If that makes sense. Okay, so you're the partner and do that middle phase defense. We call this reposture. Make sense? Sure. From here we can, right? This is the late phase. You have the head pulled down. All right? Because you're already here. So look, I step. And now I have my posture back. My back was not straight, and now it's straight. Okay? But look at the direction I'm facing. A good friend of mine used this term, and I stole it from Chris Burns. Inflate your chest. See, like, so that's, I did this like, here I don't have posture, I'm bent. Now I have some posture, and I'm inflating the chest. So that, but look at my stance too. So we call this a 4-point base. I have a foot running this way and a foot running this way. All right? My knees are bent, so defensive posture. Here. You gotta pull my head back down. Now, here. Okay, but when you reposture, it's like a 45-degree angle, if that makes sense, right? So if I'm here, I reposture on this way. Reposture on this way. Does that make sense? Yes. Start to work on that one hand. So I'm going to show some ways to defend against the guillotine. And then I want to show a way to do the standing guillotine that negates every defense I have. And this is not the way I see most people show it. My manager mentioned trying with Justin Rader, like what? Like it's just like certain people, like a Howder or a Hickson, or even in our own circle, a Danny Green or a Justin Rader. It's like that dude's got the best guillotine, arguably in the United States, Justin Rader, right? And we get to be around in a time where he's alive, right? And you got to go learn that guillotine from him, So it's like, I really appreciate those things. Like we are in a great time in jiu-jitsu. I've seen so much change since I've been involved, right? It's really mind-blowing to me. So with this, I'm going to show most people, and like when I taught this in my gym recently, I pulled up on it, we have a TV, like, hey, let's look at this guillotine finish, let's look at this guillotine finish. I'm talking like some of them, the guys when unconscious are tapped, but the amount that the person raised up like this, I'm not strong past here. You just ever do like a high pull with a kettlebell, that's it. That's all you get. Right? So if you get here and they have not tapped, what are you going to do? So a lot of people rely, and it will work sometimes, on a lifting method to finish the standing. So I want to go over ways to, like I would say most people I know are going to do it that way. So I want to go over some ways that you can defend against that lifting. I'm going to show a different method that none of the escapes I know work on. So, and that's like, I like that paired lesson because it's the way it was taught to me, right? Like, hey, if you do it this way, all those really cool defenses you know, they don't work. And I want all my submissions, right? So, let's take a look here at this sort of pulling method, right? So, real basic. When he's here, like go ahead and pull up to get me this out. Good. Yeah, feel good. Right? So, what I want you to think about, one thing that stops that, just the raise, is this. if he did pull up again, watch his elbow. See how his elbow's raising? Good. What I want to do is here. I'm turning inside. Go ahead and raise. Off balance. Okay, so as he starts to raise, I start to turn in. Right? And it just stops the pull. It's a redistribution of weight. He's trying to go like, here. And I just go like that. And you really don't see me move a whole lot. It's just like we both kind of hit this middle point. Right? So when he's grabbing to pull up, I'm turning in and I'm pushing the back of my head against his elbow. Try to pull up again. Right? And then I can make sure on this button. We're going to show 3 escapes. Right? But that's just like prevention. Like what we saw with the reposture. Like, hey, don't want to pull your head down. Don't let him raise you up on your tippy toes. There's this problem, you will see this full circle by the end. My philosophy professor used to always call us finite limited beings. Right? It means our minds can only do so much, even though they are the greatest computer out. Right? Best model on the market is the human mind. Okay? So, that being said, we want to be able to just find base, simple little topics. It's not going to be a lot of like, okay, here's all of these techniques that we're lining up, and I'm trying to regurgitate them. I'm trying to maintain my base. Okay, and with this guillotine defense, counterbalancing, finding a middle point where they can't lift me up, we had this problem of conflation with our minds where we see somebody coming up on their tippy toes, and we say, oh, I see the person being raised up. You must be lifting. When I made you go up on your tippy toes, getting on the side headlock earlier, I just put your hand on my chest. That made you stand up on your tippy toes. It's not always me pulling upward. So it's a problem of conflation with our finite limited minds, right? So we'll see people coming up on the tippy toes. Oh, they must be being raised. It's not what's going on. Like when I finish the guillotine, that's not what's going on. At the method you're talking about, we call it the V choke a lot of times, where you pull through sideways. Okay, it's a different method, right? All viable, we need to be able to deal with all, right? So give it a partner, and let's just kind of feel that prevention of when they lift, turn in, stop their elbow. Like I'm trying to pull your elbow down to the mat in a sense. Does that make sense? Sure. I got another way to get out of the guillotine. This one's just so good. No one I know has ever even seen it. It's the greatest technique on earth. And then like 2 years later, my buddy's like, that's total garbage. So you stop that. So we're gonna do that technique. But again, it's a wider lesson. Like you're gonna go against people that are gonna try and raise you to finish the guillotine. And I want all you to be doing it. And maybe that works for you. Just keep doing it. Don't want to change anything if it works. Right? But again, I've got torn labrum. Right? It took me a year to rehab it. I just thought I was never going to get better. I remember the lowest point was I never do a push-up or a pull-up again. It hurt. It was hurt. Broken collarbone the day I got my blue belt at during school. Got thrown funny and boom. So I can't rely on strength or flexible shoulders to finish it. And the way that I've crafted this together over time, I don't have to rely on this. That's why I like it. But I feel like everybody I run into does this other way, right? And we do know some pretty good people. Like I was in Orlando training, and he was talking about a bunch of side pressure, right? He hit the string hops in the world, just like one of my jiu-jitsu guys, right? And it's funny, go online, there's a picture of them, they taught a seminar recently, and they're sitting at the end, and like Hobson's got his hand on drinks vial like that, and send him a picture. I was like, man, I wish Hobson touched my butt. But did this drink this cheese in the photo too. I sent it to the end, and it's like everything like, look at that. Anyway. But Drake is the first guy to bring Hobson Moore into the United States, right? Like Hobson Moore is a legend. If you don't know who that is, go look him up. He is He's smaller than that, I think. And he's like a little bigger than you. He's a Brazilian grandpa. All right, but still, he just competed in Polaris last year. This guy's one of my heroes too. All right. So anyway, go look up Austin Moore. He's great because he's efficient. He's super small. He can't be. He's like a multi-talented. Right. But he has great guillotines. But it's another source. Go look at what's out there. Right. So look. If I just swing my chips out, you don't count me home. Right? Isn't that ridiculous? But now, right now, like, this is ridiculous. All you gotta do is swing your hips that way and pop your head. We're done. Okay? So, my hips will go right that way. Swing it. Simple. Do that like 5 times before. So again, I want you to know these escapes because somebody might try and raise and get out there. Okay? So the last one is, and I do this in the guard too. We teach this in the guard as well. I go over your back. I think you always touch me on that, right? It's very common. And I still teach this. We teach this one of the techniques in our beginner jiu-jitsu class. But think about this. Raise me up. See how that can kind of spring on me, raise up again? What? Hold on to my neck if you can. Okay, so even if he just has one hand, a lot of times if you get caught here, it's hard to let go. You don't want to guillotine someone from underside control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up in like a mountain climber position. I'm going to start leaning.
Where's the bottom of the shoulder pressure into the legs? Yeah. It's almost like a triangle.
So look, I had this from the beginning. So forward. And I don't want my legs way back. I want to look like a mountain climber. Here. And then I just start tilting. A lot of people call this the Vaughn flute choke. You said it's a shoulder choke. It's a shoulder choke. Here's my shoulder. Right? So here, if he tries to lift up, I'm using that to hit the side. I'm blocking strikes here and wedging. I go knee on knee, and I do a little shuffle to get here. Alright? So, even though it's just like that other side gets here, even though you kind of let go up, I'll show that. Right? Because it's just, you get that other artery just has to barely be covered by your own shoulder. Okay? So, let's try it more. He lifts up. Makes sense? Let's work on that one step in here. When I show techniques, this dude taught me so much when I was coming up. One of Drain's first black belts. When I broke my collarbone that I was talking about earlier, I crawled off the mat. Willie was sitting up there. You all right, man? All right? Like he's been around the whole time. He's Bryce Mitchell's Bud Nasty's his head corner. Right? And he was a little closer to me than Drain when I was coming up through the belts. And they had a great MMA fight. I would go train MMA with him like every Saturday. First Saturday I ever went there, he's like, "You're teaching me." I'm like, "Who's it?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm literally coming there to learn." Right? And he's like, "Yeah, exactly." You know? And it was a learning experience. But he's a great mentor to me coming up, still a dear friend. I love the guy, and he has submitted me with this 100 times. Okay? So give me a second, here. So it's this, right? Like you guys know, we got the shoulder choke. But the thing is, if I come in with my fist, and I put right here on the artery.
On the what?
Artery.
On the inside.
Okay? So, lay on your back.
And your knuckle in the fist?
Here. Okay, so this is half your choke. The other half, make a fist. Right here. If you can grab your own wrist, you can do that. And squeeze.
We can't actually see.
Okay. Hold on, I'm going to post up here. Grab again. you're
Almost like he's punching your throat from the side.
right? And I said, like, he can grab his own fist too. Okay? But you're just going in like that. Is all you're doing. A lot of times they'll roll over. It's like you see in a car somebody will roll over. It's just preservation. You got it. Or that would be rolling over. Okay? So this is the idea. Do this from the beginning. Okay? I'm going to do the takedown. And I want you to do the gator shit. That's what we always call this song. Okay? So. Right, so you're there. Yes. And when I go, that's when you go. Yeah, we're done. Did you hear that funny frog croak sound I made? It's good. You did a good job. Right? So, guys, it's here and here. It could be the side of your fist or it could be your knuckles. Look, there's my knuckles grabbing my own wrist. You don't have to grab your own wrist. You could just be pushing in. I submit somebody like this, the triangle them in guard. They postured up, but I had the leg here. This is open. This is right on the artery. You got both. Right? It's simple. How do chokes work? You make these big things that take the blood to your brain, make you think the thoughts. Pinch those close. Stop thinking. Alright? Let's do it. 1, 2. He was talking about that same thing. He's like, hey, I gotta take all your defenses off the table. And he's actually the second person I've ever, that wasn't like a Hickson or a Hickson black belt, teach that. So I was like, okay, wow. I'm immediately hooked into what you're saying. So many people don't, they're like, hey, yeah, here's a move, and then here's the defense, kind of like what I just did with that. Like, hey, here's a cool move, here's the defense, here's a counter. I don't know any counters to this guillotine. Okay, so I don't lift up, I push away. So here's that square stance. And there's that forward stance. Defensive posture. This doesn't have to be up. This has to be up enough for you to not go over my shoulder. Right? And I'm protected here. I put a video out on this recently and somebody was kind of like, oh yeah, I just need you in the groin. So we got the 3 defenses I did. But then, yeah, I don't want you to punch, kick, knee, elbow, scratch, bite, any of that. So, here, right? Can you get me? Right? It's just like I try not to keep going and spinning. I know how fast it comes on. I'm not lifting you up. This is the problem with conflation. You see the human come up on their toes, and you say, okay, that's how you do it. When I do this, he comes up on his toes. I'm pushing him away here. Comes up on his toes. I'm not lifting at all. I mean, this isn't as much as it is to like scoop with this. Here. And I take it up to about chin level. There's no raising it up like a high pull, right? But that negates the defenses. It's just like Mr. Dring will teach the #1 wrist lock. And he's like, punch me in the face. And if you even begin to rotate your hip, you're going to sit down on the floor hard. Because it cranks the leverage like this. I'm trying to get out, oh, it gets tight. I'm trying to knee, I'm coming forward, it gets tight. I'm being pushed away. That's the standing knee. Right? Do one. Okay, so with this kind of action, you got your thumb turned, right? So I can't, I want to tap when I do that. Now, I feel that this is a block. Yeah, see, and it doesn't have to be up the whole time. Just kind of stop me from going there. So, there, and then step back into a 4-point base and push me away with your elbows. That's quick. And you're creating space, not taking it away, right? Like, I think that there's this idea that, and I'm just like, this is a happy move, we're like, come here.
I have a question. In a sense, when we're talking about just that little thumb rotate, because it looks similar with what John Jones did to Yoda Machida. And Is that what's going on? Because
John Jones did this to Leo, see that?
because he barely,
We're good. I love the movie, I love.
because it looks similar to what he did, and then he went to sleep.
We always call this a beach show. And I know Drink calls it that too, I've done this with Drink several times over the years, right? But here and here, you can grip it, figure four, but Jones hit Leo like this.
But I just seen the arm, he did the arm come up, and the guy was asleep and just held it.
Real similar, that versus that. Right, so, you know, there's lots, I think that's a really effective, right? I don't really know any ways to get out of that. But, you're seeing submissions, those are things, right? It's another great footnote, like there's 2 footnotes in UFC today. You know, the standing submissions.
We ain't seen him, I ain't seen him in standing guarantees, and he had one of the vicious ones I've ever seen, that was Marvel.
Yeah, 100%. And then, again, come up, Justin Raiders continues, second to none. Right? So, give the partner, finish that same detail a little bit, holler if you have any questions, all right? 1, 2. Do it, you know? And I like to share the moves I'm excited about. And I remember when I learned that, I was like, I was joking with you guys, the guy that showed this to me brought all the guys in Jack Talker, you can look him up. He's got some really, a series of videos would be for just beginners or violence, called BJJ versus Cancer. It's on Budo videos. They put out shows, rolled up, just really great channel. But he the whole diatribe you guys got, and then he's like, yeah, bro, this is how you stop it. And just like telling him how he's the same. I'm like, oh, gladiatorial combat? Like, and he said, no, you turn your thumb. And I'm just like, okay. And then he's like, yeah, do that hip out one again. Like where you just swing out. Okay. Strangle. Alright, so it's cool. I like it. Let's get this in the guard. I think that what happens sometimes is when we do the other method of guillotine and it doesn't work, people will have a tendency to maybe have to pull guard, or maybe they fall down and they rely on having to finish with guard. Okay? So I like to finish for this in the guard. Alright? Now let's just start. So you're here. Okay, yes. And go ahead and just get, and we're not going to finish on doing the defense. We just fall back like this. Right there. Fall back and get it. Right? And then I'll turn it.
I can't pull the pressure like you did that.
Exactly. Right, but it's, see how it's real similar to the when we difference thing. It's over the back. It's a little harder to, like double butterfly, I'll do that same high elbow guillotine I just go to. Right? Close guard, this again is like I'm thinking about like they resulted to a guard because they didn't have the best technique, like Alex teaches sometimes, right? So here, right, like you're good. He gets there, boom. I just come out, and that's my bond too. Right? Now you were doing a good job initially. Good job. Where you're like, okay, I feel good. Stop putting your shoulder on my neck. I'm gonna push you away. Then I pass the guard. Okay? So that'll be part 2. Okay? Let's get this part 1 down where you're doing this. The joke to me we did the side control in the guard. Get my guard. So when I set up like this, right? And one nuance here. If you ever have a problem getting your grip from where I'm at right now, scoot back first. That's a missing detail for so many people. That's not really what I'm getting into. If I don't do that, he's got this all day long, also. So, I want you to come up to your feet just right now. Good. And yeah, go ahead and drop that shoulder. There you go. Go back. So, and that was I got finishing half mount. Find just tripod, like walk your feet up and stay in my guard. You can stay physically in my guard. Yes. Now walk your feet up a little bit more, and then lean everything with you. Right? Just like that mountain climber posture we were talking about earlier. I'm coming here, and I need to be able to be mobile. So lean, to drop weight into my shoulder. that, and then we'll add on the pass. All right, 1, 2. In the guard, defense of the guillotine, you finish, get the choke in the pass. A lot of times people tap during the pass. Patience is the most important thing on this. Because what you'll, like, think about this. A friend of mine's gym's name is 0 Point Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? So what he's saying is, the metaphor for that is he's at 0, and then he moves forward 1. He starts at the 0 point always, and he never goes back to it. Okay? So I want you to think, like, if in the guard, you trying to guillotine means 0. And in side control, where we were finishing that shoulder choke earlier, if that's 10, I'm going to go 0 to 10 with patience. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to find and maintain balance through my base. Okay? So here's the thing, guys. Will you get in this position for me? Yes. And he's within, kind of down the hill. Oh, yeah. He's like, we can move your knees. See, look how you can be strong at it. That's base. Yeah, I want you to come up into that when I'm trying to get to you. Right? Because then you can go forward a little bit. You're right, lean. That's a finishing pressure. You're lean side to side. Right? So, and then we think about this. If I'm here on you on a beat, it is better always for him to pass to this side. I've seen some people teach some things going to this side. I don't prefer it, and I know some finishes where I can just pull right back in the guard and you tap. And I think about everybody's confirmation bias and yes, that's good. Okay? Now, 10 years I may come back and be like, guys, it's really this side. Right? But that's not, I hope I do. Like, keep me on the mat, so I'll be excited. Okay? So, just when I go back, go that up and over, and just come up to that off. Yes. Walk a little bit more forward and start coming to the side. Yes. Now, if you have that free hand, reach back and put it on my knee. And push straight back on horizontal plane. Boom. Okay. Now, don't go this way, like we said. Step over this leg. Yeah, see, I'm not that. Now, just come back up to that mountain climber position and let her drop wing. Right. This. But again, that's that. If I'm here, one on my belt like that, right? Like that's me dropping my shoulder into your artery. Right? And sometimes it's just like I was talking with them, like you still found it during the past, like we were working on the past a little bit earlier. But it's like, hey, I think about moving your arm a little deeper. Sometimes when I'm in the guard, I don't try to get that arm slacked over the back the way I want. Probably saw that when we were doing it with the tape. Right? But so, yeah, don't be squeezing so hard you can't adjust it. Don't be going from 0 to 7 immediately so you can't make that adjustment you need to make it point from. Make sense? All right, let's work on that pass. 1, 2. We're going to work the rest of the time from the perspective of turtle. There's a couple more things I'd like to show. This next part is going to be, they said they snapped you down. Right? You know, for example, you know how to do sprawl?
Keep your feet down.
Yeah, right? Now, like you got more back, so just pull me down to the back. Right? So it's like a lot of times where I'll sprawl on somebody and I'll snap them down. But it's very nice. You can throw it over in front. Whereas like a lot of times, you just get thrown over your head. We're going to deal with, that'll be the rest of it. Okay, just kind of looking at what'll happen is somebody will take your back from the side. Take your back from the side, guess what? You're close to probably getting choked. He has an arm bar from the back, there's lots of chokes. We're naked, palm to palm, there's the lapel strangles, right? So it's exponentially harder to fight from. Just fight from that. But let's talk about, just real quick, a couple of options for the front end, okay? And last last little thing before we move on. Put this hand up. I meant to tie this in. Maybe you guys work with this, a lot of this for self-defense, but in the side headlock. Okay, so look here. Standing. That's like one of the entry types. I'm using that. I got your side headlock. It's like that frame we did on the ground. Come in here. Now, yes. Isn't that crazy how I stand like that? Hey, you know, I was a black belt when I learned that, so there you go. Used to be around the leg. But guys, that's what it's about, right? I'm literally like, one of my goals is to teach people the lessons I learned as already as a white belt. That I'm like, where was this when I was a white belt? Like, why did I get it? It probably did get taught that way when I was a white belt. It was just like a goldfish and forgot the technique before I got back to my group. It happens. It's happened to me too. So, side headlock, you push out of that, go stand. I meant to work that in, but we'll run out of time. So, let's look at front headlock on the ground, and just turtle for me real quick. Let's talk about, does everybody in here know what a Doris and anaconda choke is? Sure. So, if I go armpit out the neck, that's a Doris. Okay? So here, I could break him over, look for the finish from the side. It's not a good spot to be. Okay? And then the anaconda goes from the neck out the arm. Okay? What you see with this a lot is doing the gator roll. I prefer to let go of this arm when I gator roll and do a rear naked choke finish. Okay? So let's look at those two things, and then I'll have one other paired association. Where from the side, you got like an A and a B. Right? I always tell my competitors, I'm like, what's your A and B? And I get up and be like, what if I end up in this? And I'm like, you need an A and B. Like, you need the escape from side mount, and then if that one doesn't work, what's the second? Right? A and B. So that's gonna be kind of the mode for these next little bit. So put me in the doors, please. So yes, okay, good. So so this is the anaconda, right? But that's fine. We'll start with the anaconda. Don't worry. We can go back. So here, when he went in, I grabbed. Okay. So that's another thing. Like imagine if you somebody grabbed you to choke you and you pulled their hand into your neck arm. I like doing that. It actually works, right? And they're like, oh yeah, you want to grab me? Let me help you. So like he grabbed across, I grabbed back. I'm like, yeah, grab it. I'm pulling you into me. Okay, now watch what I'm gonna do. Americana seats go. I look outside of my arm. Back when I was a kid, this is what they called the Aoki lock. Aoki lock's a foot lock now. Mike was busy hit it the other night. The night before I taught a seminar, and when I was doing ankle locks at that seminar, I showed one real similar to that, but this is how you catch people saying that. So, when he comes here, I grab and I whip him around here. See how that's trying to put and I go neck out the arm. Yeah, see, look, I'm gonna grab your tricep, and you're like, I'm grabbing your tricep. Right? Now, once you get here, you have everything you need. Swing this over my back and grab my lat muscle. Yes. Now, remember how we talked about inflating the chest? That's it. I'm already there, right? I can't go. So it's just like a little bit simple. Now, my arm's strapped under your arm, so okay. As long as that, now if they clear the arm, just take the back. Simple. Okay, one more. Good. Grab. Yeah. Yeah. Be careful too, because that was fine. I could have whatever, but I verbal tap. Because I'm like, yeah, I kind of got some weight on my hand. I can't really pick it up and tap the mat and use. I just said, the verbal, like, I'm a black belt, and if you're gonna tap me, you probably gonna be mine. Yeah, you tap all the time, right? But almost every time I tap, I'm like, tap. If it's loud, I'm like, tap. Right? Like, snapping fingers, tapping the feet, tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna let you know every way I can, but there've been times where my hands are in it. And I learned that verbal tap lesson hard. Verbal tap's my preferred mode. Especially like, it's not super loud here. Kids class be going on, 2 classes at once, like our gym. I'll verbal tap and do everything I can. We just have to take care of each other. Let's do it. 1, 2. Ways to explain things, and I will even say, like, I stole this from my friend Chris. You know, I taught college for 5 years. Every semester I taught about the Egyptians. I changed a little something about how I presented. You know, with this mountain climber. I use that all the time. And I just like, I gotta come up with a way to describe because it's a mobile position. And sometimes you'll be in a sprawl. Let's say this posture, not super mobile. Then you gotta kind of change your spinal shape to be able to move. If you, like right after you beat someone on a double, you gotta go back to about a mountain climber position. You want to spin around, take their back. So, when he goes for the doors, right? I'm going to use this mountain climber position, but I'm going to be belly up, okay? So, look, this is where there's no leg, okay? So, what I'm going to do, go ahead and get this. So, if my legs are here, we're done. My legs are going to come here. So this is like more of like what's called a crab crawl position, right? But I'm going to come up into that mountain climber. So this is the, see if you can, just make whatever adjustment. See if you can get me to tap. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Now watch. Bring my knees up, and I drive.
Oh, thanks.
Those are good grants.
Yeah, $40. That's what I was talking about, right? Like it's like, oh! Like these techniques that like, imagine you had to do that performance technique. No, I want my techniques to make you feel the strain, not be strained to perform, right? So here he goes, Dar. So that's armpit out the neck. I want to grab this, and then I'm sliding through here.
Okay, now we
All right.
Can you do it on someone? Can you do it on someone I can't see?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Here you go. So, yes, so he goes, look, it's the side that he came out with. There's no base over here, right? And I'm gonna trap this elbow and here. I'm gonna slide this way, but that's gonna make his weight go there. Now look, this can't be this case. I gotta be here. So look, see, and I got my leg in. There's no base over here though. Like this would be very hard for you to go this way, but wrap my arm. Your knee comes up, yes. Yes, both feet on the floor. Drive yourself across my body. Yes. I didn't emphasize this.
You want to do this with Mark?
One of my buddies, Randy, he talks about this too. Almost like you're gonna grab the double. I talk about that sometimes, but if you have to reach up like you're gonna grab their legs, it makes them, right? So you kind of think about that in a sense. But I just think about pushing my body weight up across your chest, and that makes that arm triangle work, right? And then they go, even me. I'm like, yes, yes, sir, I will. I didn't know you were that passionate about it, and now I see you're serious. I'm no longer going to try and show you. Think about that way, right? So you're the partner. Let's work on that. One, this side. And I like so you'll be a jerk. I like teaching this in exactly the way that I'm going to show it in this way, so we'll put it this way. Okay. I'm going to take it. So, kind of this idea. I might get either foot in first, not trying to get, but that's the pull energy. I'm pulling you to take it. Okay? So remember how we were doing that thing with him earlier? I want you, when you feel me pull, I want you to do this. Okay, that's it. So, I'm going to start pulling. Go ahead. still need to. Okay, and here's why I like. Have you seen this technique before? Okay, I hadn't either the first time I saw it. And the first time I saw it, it was taught to somebody just like this. They'd never seen me do it. And it's like, hey, this one I pull you, just come with me. I'm pulling you, just go that way. It'd be harder if you try to go the other side. Right, so one more time. And the only problem here is that she needs to get her hips high enough to get over my knee. Right, so if I'm doing something like this, that may come up. Okay? But it is that simple, guys. If you just go in this sort of mountain climber, bear crawl position, and you do a sideways bend. That's simple. Let's do it. 1, 2. We filmed it. It's on our YouTube channel. I put most of the stuff I do. I film classes every week. Like, our YouTube just got monetized, so like, I'm definitely putting this content, you know. But I have for a long time. I got over 1,500 videos. So I'll upload this stuff, make shorts out of it, make the whole seminar. So hopefully it can be a resource for you. This melts your mind, and then you don't get it anymore. You only learn 2 things, right? That's like the other seminar I taught. Like I wish I could have done one more, 2 hours, but it didn't melt anybody's mind. It's just a handful of techniques. They got better at the position. I see them working on it ever since I left in class. They benefit. Could have gone overboard. But think about this in 2 ways. These last couple of techniques, like you don't get your back taken, you don't get choked. How about that? Escapes. But the whole first part, side and block escapes. Whole second part, front and back. Easy. And then this is just back take prevention. So this one is also quite ridiculous. Alright, okay, you again. Okay. What about if I flip it? Okay, go here. So this is and I'm gonna be able to and I like how you lean back into me. That's the belt that we're doing. Right? That's base. Okay. But when I lean into it, what I want you to do is put this knee up on like lean into do that. This is gonna go here. Right? Now slide it, go out to this leg and across. Yep. Okay. Will you get beside me? So when I feel this lean, like she's wanting to push me this way, so we're gonna go. So I see this, and I know like it's in Aikido, it's called Kokunagi, but people show this throw, take down whatever it's in wrestling, they call it the Peterson's roll, but against an overhand. Like somebody coming a big overhand, you duck in and boom, wheel them over. It's like I see this technique in every art that I study. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo. It's got a turtle in it, it's there. And then I see it as a standing takedown in judo, aikido, jiu-jitsu. So I like this quite a bit. But see here, I have no pull or real push. But when I start to put weight on you, yes, slide, yes, and then all the way. Cool. Yes. Okay. You want to see it one time? Yes. Okay. So when he's pushing into me with that weight here. So this is didn't carry his weight over my when it's going over my hips. Like, cause that'll be something like you get squashed sometimes when people go over your body for techniques. This one, right up. Make sense? Let's do it.